Hey everyone, Joey here, and today we're going to do a deep dive into the Retroid Launcher front end for Retroid devices. The Retroid Launcher is Retroid's default front end that they ship their devices with, and surprisingly, it's actually pretty good. Now, I think most people should use Daigisho or Beacon Launcher or Emulation Station instead, but if you just wanted to use Retroid's launcher out of the box, it's more than fine, and today I'm going to explain it all to you. There is two ways to start up the Retroid Launcher. During the first initial setup of the device, you can select it as the option for your launcher, or alternatively, it is just an app, so you can open it via the home screen if you chose the AOSP launcher instead. Now, if you are going this route instead, you'll want to head to Android Settings, Apps, Default Home App, and change it to Retroid Launcher. That way it boots to that on startup, and your home button takes you to it when you use it. Okay, so go ahead and open the app, and once you do, the first thing that it's going to ask you is if you want to go through their tutorial. And I'm going to be honest, it's actually a very good tutorial, and you can do that if you want to, but it will force you to follow their directions. But I'm going to be covering everything that you need to know anyways today, so you can click skip. First thing we need to do is check for updates. Click the eye looking icon, it's second from the left, and then head to the update tab. Make sure you're connected to Wi-Fi, and if this gets stuck on checking for updates for longer than 30 seconds, then you have an old version of the app and this will never work. If it doesn't get stuck and you see an update, then awesome. Do an update and it's easy. For everybody else that got stuck, head to the GitHub tab and then click the GitHub repository. Mine brought me to a 404 page, not found, but what you want to do is click Retroid Launcher, then select your device from the list. The flip to will be the Retroid Pocket 5. Choose New, then APKs, then click the newest one. Click the Download Raw button on the right, and then open that APK that we just downloaded to install it. You might need to grant permissions to Chrome or whatever browser that you're using, and then click Update. Head back into your new updated Retroid Launcher. First things first, we want to tell the launcher what systems that we have games for, so click the download looking icon, and you're going to see a list of systems. You can individually checkmark the systems that you have, or you can click all if you want them all. Now, if you don't have games for all these systems, all will clutter up your screen quite a bit. So I would suggest just going individually and choosing what you want, then click download. It's going to take some time. You can check the progress top right with the download notification. Now, in the meantime, head to the settings icon, third from the left, and we can see a few things in this menu. There's nothing that we want to change in scan, so head to launching and turn both of these off. What these options do is if you don't have the emulator or core installed, it's going to use a temporary one or another one that you didn't want just to boot the game and make it look like it's working. This can get very dangerous and it can lead to some really bad times. You could lose saves, you could have other issues. It's just not a good feature. So turn both of these off. Head to RetroArch. This is where you can select which RetroArch version to use and it will show your installed cores. Now, this is outside of today's guide, but you should follow my guide to get RetroArch 64-bit installed if you don't have it and you want to use that in all scenarios. You're also going to notice that I don't have any cores installed as of yet, because they would show up in a list under RetroArch. And that's on purpose, it's to show you later on. But long story short, you do want to have your emulators all set up and working before you come to this front end. In the backup tab, you can back up all of your data and then restore data if you want to move all of the stuff from this Retroid Launcher to a new device, or maybe you're going to do a factory reset and you want to bring it back. The other tab has a single setting, which we can leave off. Head back, and this time, let's do the t-shirt looking icon for appearance settings. A lot of these settings are going to be personal preference things because it is just appearance, so you can see what they do and then try them later if you'd like. Personally, I turned on background image for game grid and game list, and I'm going to show you later what that looks like. A very fun option in the handheld tab is having your LED lights on the device match the color of whatever system that you're in. It's actually super fun, so I like this. I'm going to turn it on. Alright, so from the home screen, if you're wondering how you can see all of your installed apps and such, you can push the B button and they're all there. You're going to notice some filters at the top for game, emulator, systemic, and such. What you can do is push Y on any application to edit it. And you can set what it is so that you can filter all of these to whatever you want to see and organize it better. Otherwise, this is just how you can access all of your apps. Push B to head back to platforms. As of right now, the launcher has whatever systems that we chose here. But inside, there's no games yet, because we haven't told the launcher where the games are for each system. So I'm going to start with Dreamcast. Go ahead and push X to get the details page. First thing we want to do to make it a habit is head to the little pencil icon bottom right and select it. You can make some changes to the platform here. Maybe you can delete it if you added it by mistake, or make some other changes. But head to the Config tab. This is important. Here is where you're going to tell the launcher which emulator to use for this system. So for me, it's Dreamcast. What do I use to play Dreamcast games? There is a list here, and I have to tell it what to use. So again, for me, I know that I use the 64-bit RetroArch version, and I use the Flycast core to play all of my games. So that's what I'm going to choose. In the Color tab, you can change the color of the platform. In the Picture tab, you can change the pictures. And in the Suffix tab, you can choose what file types are associated with this system, which you likely won't need to touch. Head back into Directories, and now we're going to tell the launcher where our Dreamcast games are. So click Add and browse to the folder that has your Dreamcast games and select it. Then click Synchronize. If you check the top right, you're going to see that it's starting to do things, which is adding the games and getting the artwork. Once all of that's done, if you head into the Dreamcast platform from the home screen, you can see all of your games, and you might see that some found artwork, some didn't. Now, if you push Y, you can change the layout to a list instead of a grid. You can also see the background images are being shown in both layouts, and that's thanks to us enabling that option earlier today. If you push X on a game, you're going to get more details about it. You can add to favorites, you can see YouTube videos, Wikipedia information, and so on. But let's back out and let's do another system. This time, Game Boy Advance. It's the same thing, so I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to tell it where my Game Boy Advance games are. You're going to notice that I forgot to tell it which emulator to use, and I did that on purpose to show you what happens. But first, what do we do when artwork can't be found? Well, it's actually pretty neat what Retroid did. Push X on a game and then select the pencil icon bottom right. You can try syncing the game individually, but download failure means no dice. If we head to the Picture tab, we have some options. Replace from locally means that you can upload a saved image yourself, but let's choose Replace from the internet. They use IGDB to download artwork, and so for Fire Emblem and Darren Saga, it's not finding it. But I can see it here under the name and Darren Saga. If you head to the Rename tab and enable the Game Information button, you can try searching for the game using the search and choosing it from the list. This didn't work for this game, but you might get lucky. Alternatively, back to the Picture tab, choose Replace from Internet, and this is cool. Head into the game and then push and hold and then download the box art image. Let it download, then push the back button on your device or the home button to get back to the launcher, and you're going to see that the launcher found that image and it is now using it. This is actually really cool. And you can do this with Logo and so on. And you're not restricted to just IGDB. You could go to Google Images and search an image. It goes by whatever you download. So just find an image via the browser, download it, and it'll use it. I couldn't figure out how to get video to work this way, unfortunately. But let's go back and let's play some games. Now remember, you have to tell the launcher which emulator or core to use. And I'm going to show you now what happens when you choose wrong. So going to Edit, Game Boy Advance, go to Config, and choose RetroArch 64 MGBA, which is what I use to play Game Boy Advance. Then I'm going to go launch a Game Boy Advance game, and we get an error. The specified core does not exist. And yeah, that's good. I didn't install the MGBA core in RetroArch. So if I go and do that very quickly, and then head back and try and load the game, now it works. Again, this part is outside of the guide, but you do want to make sure that you have your emulators set up for them to work in this launcher. Let's look at another example. Dolphin for GameCube and Wii. I see this error happens to a lot of people for different front ends. I just want to play my GameCube games. What is this specific file does not exist error? I'm going to return this handheld, oh my god. Well, you didn't add the games to the emulator, so in Dolphin. If you don't add the games to Dolphin, the Dolphin emulator doesn't know what you're trying to do. So open Dolphin, click the plus icon bottom right, find your GameCube games folder and add it, and you're going to see your game show up. Now, if you head back to the launcher and you try and launch your games, they're going to launch. Again, set up your emulators properly using my guides for each emulator, and you're going to avoid all of these errors. This specific error happens a lot with DuckStation and NetherSX2 as well. So now you know how to fix it. Lastly, how do you add platforms for missing platforms, like where's Wii U and where is Switch, and so on? The real answer is you can't. Well, you can, but it is an absolute mess of a time, and even I don't know how. If you click the plus icon on the home screen, you can add your own platform. The problem is, you need to know all of the activity information, the package names, and so on. And honestly, it is just way too much. Other than that, I think that's just about it for learning how to use the Retroid Launcher. I think I did pretty good, but let me know in the comments if I'm missing anything. Don't forget to like and sub to help the channel grow. Come join me on the Discord to talk all about emulation. Support me on Patreon if you like my stuff. And hope you all have a good one.